Welcome, viewers. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast. Today, we're going to be touching a very sore topic with MLK, and this has been brought up by the recent matters which happened in 2020, called the radical movements. And it's a very sore topic, so I brought in an expert. We have MLK assassination experts over here to my left.
Greetings, viewers. My name's Tracy Jones. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to show everyone the story about Martin Luther King. I think it's important to share his message and shine light on his incredible life.
The possibly most infamous civil rights leader was no stranger to death threats. In 1958, King was stabbed in the chest and was nearly killed, and directly after the assassination of John F. Kennedy in 1963, he exclaimed to his wife, quote, "This is what's going to happen to me also. I keep telling you, this is a sick society." In 1968, King and members of his Southern Christian Leadership Conference arrived in Memphis, Tennessee for a sanitation workers rally. On April 3rd, in Memphis, King declared his "I've been to the top of the mountain" speech.
We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now.
It was April 4th, 1968. King was staying in room 306 of the Lorraine Hotel. King stayed in this hotel very often, and hence it was nicknamed the King and Apathy Suite. Him and his pastor would stay in the room frequently. King leaned over the balcony of the Lorraine Hotel in order to speak to Jesse Jackson. That moment, at 6:01 p.m., a shot rang out, which struck King in the right cheek, breaking his jaw and several vertebrae.
After that, Martin was immediately taken to the St. Joseph Hospital. Yet, there, King was declared dead at 7:05 p.m. The police arrived on scene.
Now, back to where the police concluded the shot did come from. At the boarding house, the police found a bedsheet which contained personal clothing, an overnight bag, a Remington 780 Game Master rifle, and the rifle was covered in fingerprints from a suspect named James Earl Ray. Within the gun, there was an empty rifle casing, meaning that someone shot the gun and did not eject the old casing.
Run for 2 months before he was caught in London attempting to flee to Rhodesia. The conclusion why James Earl Ray murdered Martin Luther King was because of the $5,000 bounty put out by the racist Southerners for the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. The King family came to their own conclusion and decided that Ray was an innocent man and did not kill Martin Luther King Jr., as the son went to the prison where James Earl Ray was being held and asked him if he murdered Martin Luther King.
The assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has long been shrouded in speculation and conspiracy theories. Some of these theories argue that there's unexplained inconsistencies and circumstances that cast doubt on the official version of the events.
One of the most notable theories suggests that James Earl Ray, the convicted assassin, did not act alone, but was actually part of a much larger conspiracy to silence Dr. King and his messages, including his following and people, and undermine the civil rights movement which was taking place throughout the 60s. Critics of the official narrative point out several compelling pieces of evidence. Some argue that Ray, a petty criminal with a very limited skill set, cannot have executed such meticulously planned assassination while acting alone.
Supporters of this theory highlight the presence of a mysterious figure named Raw in James Earl Ray's early life. They claim that Raw could have been an operative or handler for James Earl Ray, providing Ray with logistical support and resources. Additionally, inconsistencies in Ray's travel patterns before and after the assassination raise questions about the true extent of his involvement. Another theory suggests elements within the U.S. government played a role in Dr. King's assassination, being his growing influence and radical nature of his activism. Proponents of this theory point to the government's history of surveillance and harassment of civil rights leaders. This, of course, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They argue that agencies such as the FBI's COINTELPRO program had a vested interest in neutralizing him, that his assassination could have been a covert operation carried out to suppress his black rights message. Now, a third theory explores the possibility of involvement by white supremacist groups such as the KKK or specific individuals who opposed Dr. King's work. Advocates of this theory point to a long-standing history of racial hatred and violence in America. They argue that Dr. King's assassination fit a pattern of targeted attacks on African American leaders, raising suspicions about the involvement of extremist groups or individuals driven by a desire to maintain racial segregation and suppress civil rights progress. In addition to these many theories, forensic evidence also raised multiple questions. Some experts argue that the angled bullet trajectory and the position of Dr. King's wounds just simply don't add up. They don't align. Now, this leads to the suggestion that there is possibly multiple gunmen. Certain discrepancies in the autopsy report combined with witness testimonies indicate the sound of multiple gunshots. This has fueled belief that more than one person killed Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, that's good.